Good day, everyone. I am Zyla Lu S. Libertad, and today I will be presenting the introduction of our study. Several studies have shown peer tutoring to be quite effective. Peer tutoring is a flexible, peer mediated strategy that involves students serving as academic tutors and tutees. Typically, a higher performing student is paired with a lower performing student to review critical academic or behavioral concepts. If implemented well, peer tutoring can yield tangible and positive results of significant benefit to tutors and tutees alike. A substantial advantage of peer tutoring is the decreased amount of teacher responsibility in implementing the intervention because students are the primary change agents. Peer tutoring is an efficient method for providing individualized instruction to many students simultaneously. However, some students do not like to discuss concept test questions or taught subjects with peers. Besides, they may be embarrassed by their classmates. Therefore, peer instruction might not reach the desirable levels. This study is to determine whether peer tutoring helps students improve their reading fluency or not.
Needs for this study. One of the most important subjects students must master in school today is reading. Learning to read for a variety of purposes is essential to success in school and also to learn in general. This study is centered on the effects of peer tutoring on the reading fluency of senior high school students of Valencia National High School. The goal of this study is to determine whether or not peer tutoring can help students to improve their reading fluency. The researchers believe that reading fluency is a step towards the development of the reading comprehension of the country. By reading fluency to be achieved, one of the ways is peer tutoring. This study is focused on identifying whether or not peer tutoring is helpful and effective. Reading takes us out of that multitasking mindset that is constantly in. It allows us to really focus on that one thing that we are doing and be fully present in it. This focus allows us to be successful in other parts of our lives. Reading problems that are not addressed in primary school persist in secondary school with major implications. As a result, it is important to provide specific reading assistance to the struggling students. Many students with learning disabilities or LD and emotional behavioral disorders or EBD face reading challenges and are at risk of losing motivation. According to the article, the effects of peer tutorial reading racetrack on word fluency of secondary students with learning disabilities and emotional behavioral disorders, um, the effects of motivated reading racetrack as a peer tutoring on the word reading skills of secondary students with LD, with and without EBD or emotional behavioral disorders were evaluated using a multiple baseline design. This data suggests that this multi-component intervention improves the word fluidity of low-achieving secondary school students with LD and or EBD. Reading difficulties at the secondary level are seen as more serious than reading difficulties at primary level. This is according to Guerin and Murphy on 2015. The effects of peer tutorial reading racetrack intervention in developing reading fluency of secondary students with LD and students with LD and EBD is confirmed in this article. As a result, the method can be used with students of all ages and with particular educational needs. Given the low cost of supplies and the time, this is not only effective but also cost efficient classroom intervention.
Hi, I am Isaiah Jean Rodriguez, and now I am going to discuss to you the background of the study. Peer tutoring is extensively used in many countries and endorsed by experts such as UNESCO as one of the most effective instructional practices for quality education. Reviews and research about peer tutoring practices show that students improve academically in addition to enhancing their reading fluency, according to Alvarez Cañezo et al. 2015. Reading fluency is defined as the ability to read rapidly, accurately, and with a proper expression. Kim and Wagner 2015 showed that the role of text reading fluency walks together with the reading comprehension improvement. Peer tutoring helps to develop the skills of students to manage and plan learning experience, work in association, give and receive responses about their activities, and finally, evaluate their own learning. The significance of peer tutoring is increasing and it has become an important part of many courses and disciplines in different countries, thus according to Efren Ula et al. 2018. The studies mentioned shows the significance and advantage of peer tutoring to the reading fluency of the students. The researchers will focus on identifying the effects of peer tutoring on the students' reading fluency, as well as the positive and negative impact of peer tutoring. Research objectives. This study aims to identify the effects of peer tutoring on the reading fluency of senior high school students of Valencia National High School. Specifically, this study trains 1. To assess the senior high school students' result in implementing peer tutoring on their reading fluency. 2. To identify positive and negative impact of peer tutoring. 3. To identify the effects of peer tutoring on the students' reading fluency. Research questions. 1. What are the effects of peer tutoring on the reading fluency of the senior high school students? 2. Will students who participate in peer tutoring improve their reading fluency faster than those who do not? 3. Will the school consider peer tutoring as a variable option for assisting students who are having difficulty with their reading fluency?
Methodology. Presented in this chapter are the discussions and informations and how the study was conducted. Specifically, it contains research design, locale of the study, research instrument, data gathering procedure, and data analysis. Research design. This case study will be used where we researchers seek the effect of peer tutoring on the reading fluency of the senior high school student of Valencia National High School. It is a long process of collecting data with various sources of information and by using different techniques to reach the objectives. It was chosen because we researchers need a lot of information and in-depth understanding of researchers' topic, and to that investigate the factors that may affect the research study. Locale of the study. We, the researchers, will conduct our study inside Valencia National High School, and it is located at Lapu-Lapu Street, Poblacion, Valencia City, Bukidnon. We selected Valencia National High School for research because we, the researchers, wanted to know the effects of peer tutoring of reading fluency. Since we are facing pandemic, Google Form serves as the main instrument of our study. The Google Form helps us in gathering the perceptions or opinions of the student on how they seek the effect of peer tutoring on the reading fluency. On the other hand, Google Form helps us to assist whether the student have a negative or positive response regarding peer tutoring on the reading fluency. And lastly,
This would provide the necessary data and useful information about the study, which was perceived and analyzed by the researchers. Data gathering procedure. In gathering the data, we, the researchers, will make questions to be answered by the senior high school student in Valencia National High School. These questions will serve as a guide for the structured interview to be given by the researchers to the representative of each sectors. Before the interview will happen, the researchers will send a letter of request to each as a sign of respect and also to ask permission to conduct an interview. After the letter will be approved, the interview will immediately occur. While interviewing the researchers, we will take voice records and also we will take down notes to gather the answers of each representative. And lastly, we the researchers will take a picture as an evidence as they have conducted the study.
Research timeline. The project is anticipated to be accomplished in 12 weeks, with the following indicated as the activities durations for every section of the research project. So these are the research sections and their durations. Title, 1 week. Introduction, 1 week. Need for the study, 1 week. Background, 2 weeks. Objectives, 1 week. Research questions or hypothesis, 1 week. Research methodology, 1 week. Data analysis, interpretation, and discussions, 2 weeks. Summary, conclusion, and recommendations, 1 week. And reviewing work for final submission, 1 week.
The study will contribute to the body of knowledge by adding investigations and results related to the topic. This will also serve as a guide for future researchers in furthering the study. This study will help students and teachers in improving their instructional practices for quality education. It will contribute to the students' reading fluency and comprehension. Its contribution to the organizations and society is by adding useful recommendations to be implemented that will help students academically. The researcher's recommendation would be a proper guidance by the institution. Listening to the teacher and self-study would be the most important thing to consider in improving the reading fluency of the students. There are a lot of ways to improve the reading fluency of the students, not just by peer tutoring. Peer tutoring might help, but it will not entirely improve the reading fluency of the students. A proper guidance by the teacher is the best way. For now, that is the contribution of this study. In the future, the researchers believe that there will be other researchers who will further the study. Thank you.